welcome to Blue Jays Today, where we always have something to say about the Toronto Blue Jays. I am your host, Nicholas Blaylock.
And I'm your host, Adam Petal. And today, guys, we are going to be talking to you about the Blue Jays free agent targets post-lockout and taking a more realistic approach. Get out of fantasy land a little bit. Let's talk about what the Blue Jays need to win a World Series this year. Before we get into it, guys, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that post notification bell button. All right, Nick, so what's the first thing that comes to your mind when it comes to the Blue Jays free agency targets? Like, what is something we've got to consider? What's been on the forefront this entire lockout?
Okay, well, first off, I mean, there has been some major conversations surrounding the Chris Bryant, the Freddie Freeman, the massive bat. I think that both of us, though, ever since those have come out, needless to say, we would be happy about that.
Yes, absolutely.
We don't believe that that is the number one priority for these guys. There are other things on our radar that needs to get done. That would be a beautiful cherry on top of the sundae, but we also need to have some more ice creams in the sundae to just make a fucking stable balance that we can, not blow games up with.
Too much vanilla, not enough chocolate.
Too much vanilla, not enough chocolate. Exactly.
Absolutely.
I want to read off a quote here by Shai
Yes.
Davidi, because this one I think really hits the nail on the head, and basically he comes out and he says that reports are Jays are likely to prioritize further rotation pickups and adding a high leverage reliever. And for time, we've been talking about that. For time, we've been saying, okay, we like our rotation, but I don't have full trust in all of them. I like a few more dart throws. And for time, we've been saying, we have a lot of guys that are inexperienced in that bullpen. I like their potential, but I would like to also have a nice, juicy, high leverage veteran presence. Do you agree with me?
Oh, absolutely. And I want to start with that rotation, because like a rotation is very, very nice, but why not make it really extremely, very
goddamn
super nice? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So just in case the Ryu blow up continues, just in case the Alek Manoah regression happens, it's like we have some dudes to fall back on.
Exactly. And right now in that fifth spot, we have like Stripling or Pearson. Like we're not really sure yet. So hey, it wouldn't hurt to grab maybe one more dart throw.
Yeah,
nothing really crazy. Like not like Rondon is kind of like a little bit more expensive.
That's a bit like top tier in my opinion if you want to go for somebody like that.
Exactly. But why not trade or grab somebody off free agency? That's a bit of a nice little grab steal.
Hey, let me throw out a few goddamn names
please.
here. Okay, you know what? A dude who's like, I'd be totally fine. I think this is a little bit unrealistic, but I'd still be happy to acquire him. Zach Greinke is available. Probably going to be looking for a 1 or 2 year thing. Not super expensive. Yusei Kikuchi, we have talked about him previously. He could be a nice, juicy dart throw. A dude who Dal Kermis, shout out to Dal Kermis, made us very aware of the other day, Kwang Hyun Kim, with a 3.46 ERA over 106.2 innings last year. Very nice year. And a guy that I found today who it's like nobody's talking about at all, a guy named John Gant. He was from Colorado the last 3 years, 191.1 innings pitched. He did the stripling role. So he was starter. He also was bullpen. He's kind of fluctuated back and forth. And in that time, he's got a 3.81 ERA. He's going to be cheap as goddamn hell. He was in Coors Field, probably getting blown up a little bit. This is a dude who's going to be, I think, 30 years old, who I think has a lot of upside. That's probably going to cost like $4 million, like nothing at all, and can probably do the stripling role better than stripling.
Yeah, and I love all those options, and those are very realistic guys to grab. And, I want to move over a little bit now to the relievers, because I think would you agree that relievers is more of a priority than a fifth guy in the rotation?
Here's the thing. I mean, I think that our rotation right now, I like where it's at, assuming that everybody either continues what they're doing or does what they're supposed to do. However, the rotation starts to fall apart when we have an injury here or like a regression there. I think that the bullpen, though, has the potential to fall apart without any of that. It could just fall apart with the guys who we already have. And maybe it's because I'm triggered from last year.
Could be a little bit of that.
Like
I think you have some bad memories.
Probably. Because actually, when you look at our season-long numbers on the bullpen, they weren't atrocious.
No, they weren't. The ERA on the bullpen was 4.08. Not atrocious.
Yeah.
Actually,
what was that? 16th in the league.
But our K to walk ratio was 13th in the league. But the thing is, we felt like it was worse. I mean, that's because of the earlier parts of the season with the Chatwood, with the Dolis, and a lot of blow-ups there.
And I will also admit, too, that's a great statistic to look at, but it also doesn't factor in, the one-run games when you only give up one one run in a critical clutch moment. You know, it's like that doesn't factor in just the times we played the crap boys. It also factors in the good guys too. So it doesn't count everything. You know what I mean?
Remember factoring in Brad Hand? Yeah, like Brad Hand was there for a bit, just blowing games for us. Like, that was garbage.
That was garbage.
But we do have something to build this bullpen off of. We got Jordan Romano, we got Simber, we got Mesa, we got Richards, we have Julian Merriweather who could break out. We have guys there. We just need a couple more pieces to make sure that in case injuries happen. Like Merriweather, he got injured a lot last year. Like, if that does happen, we have guys there, because I don't want to be pulling out people from the minors last year that I've never heard of, like Kirby or whatever
That's
his guy's name was. Pitching in moments that actually matter for us. So
Kirby Sneed.
Kirby Sneed,
great hair, bro. That's all I remember. Yeah,
Walmart.
Yeah.
Walmart Thor.
But here's the thing too. I mean, you were talking about injuries. I also want to say that I like all the guys that you said there, and like some of them have more experience than others. But I remember after the 2019 season or 2020 season, I forget. But I was thinking that Dolis was a sure thing. I was walking into this thing thinking like, oh boy, like here we go. Watch out for Rafael Dolis. Obviously, I was proven wrong because bullpen can be so volatile. It can fluctuate. I don't want to count that every single one of those guys is going to be like 2.5 ERA next year. Like there will probably be at least one blow up.
Like I could see absolutely like Richards blowing up.
Totally.
Obviously, the guy I have the most confidence is Jordan Romano. Like this guy's just been an absolute beast of a relief pitcher.
But needless to say, we could use some more dudes. Who do you have on the list?
So a lot of guys that we've already talked about on this channel, but these are guys that like they're so easy to grab. They're there for the taking, and they're going to immensely improve our bullpen. Kenley Jansen is the most expensive, but he is a guy like, hey, that wouldn't hurt to have an experienced closer. We don't need it, but hey, it would never hurt. Colin McHugh, Ryan Zapera, an old friend, Andrew Chafin, who we literally made a podcast on last week.
Love me some Andrew Chafin, bro.
Oh, I love him. He's my #1 favorite.
Yeah, take a look at that podcast if you haven't already, man. Like the breakdown is elite, and like he would be solid.
Amazing. And the last but not least is Joe Kelly, who pitched for the Dodgers. And we all know he's very infamous for that kind of look. Any one of these guys would be perfect.
Absolutely, dude. And like there are obviously like I have kind of like my rankings of all those guys, but at the end of the day, like if I got the update that we acquired one of them, like I am happy about it. And they said high leverage. So, I mean, I think that those are sort of the dudes that we are looking at here. Like, we are looking at the elites of the elite when it comes to relievers. We're not looking at some dart throws. We went down that road. I feel like the management tried that already. And Yimi Garcia is already a bit of a dart throw. And I think that they know that. I think that they realize that. It's like, okay, he's not the be-all and the end-all right now. We do need to go out and acquire somebody with a proven track record with a good resume.
Yes. And I think they needed to do it, like, right before the lockout so that they didn't get to a situation post-lockout where they're like, oh my God, we literally haven't got anybody.
We have nobody in the bullpen. Yeah, I agree, dude. I agree. So, like, those are, like, 100% incredibly important. Last but not least, if we're leaving out the Freddie Freemans and the Chris Bryants and the, you know, like, super fantasy land here, it is that last outfielder spot. It is that fourth outfielder spot. I'm not overtly worried about this. I mean, like, I feel like we could have call-ups, you know, coming from the minors. Like, I don't need this guy to be incredible or anything like that. And I do like, you know, who knows? Maybe Palacios could be a guy one day.
Maybe.
I don't know.
You know,
he would need some time to in the major leagues to show us.
Yeah.
But granted, right now, we don't really have anybody like a solid MLB player at that fourth outfield position, you know? It's like, I would like to have somebody like, or a lefty bat, a
lefty bat. Like, because that's what they're specifically looking for.
Keep forgetting about Grichuk. I'm just like,
because you were just saying, like, I wish we had a fourth solid MLB player. I'm like, Grichuk is an MLB player, just not an above average one.
Well, here's the thing. Could you not see the reality where next year Grichuk gets sent down to the minors?
I don't know. It'd be tough. It depends if we get a fourth outfielder. That's the only thing.
And I'm okay with that. I'm all right with that, man.
It's true, because it's just the only reason why I'm not thinking this year is because there's another $10 million next year, but maybe in the last year. You never know. But anyways, but yeah, that's the whole thing, is this whole lefty bat. And we've both talked about on this channel that, like, we don't necessarily need it, even though, like, I know like Montoya really likes it, and old school baseball players like, yeah, you need a lefty to mix it up in the lineup. But I personally don't see a difference. Like, if our righties can slug, I don't see an issue, and they slugged last year. So, but some lefty bats that are on free agency, we got to honor this, are Jock Pederson, Eddie Rosario, and good old friend Corey Dickerson, who actually had some nice words about the Toronto Blue Jays.
Yeah, and I do like me some Corey Dickerson. I was a little harsh on him when he did come, but it's like, he proved like he is a good, solid player for us. It's like he wasn't exceptional by any means, but I mean, like, better than Grichuk, in my opinion. Like, way better.
You want to hear what he did with Toronto? He hit a 282 average, on base for 329, and a slugging of 450.
There you go. I mean, like, that's definitely, that is solid, right? Like, that is across the board. Like, you're an MLB player.
Yes.
It's like, you can play on our squad. It's like, we can throw you in the bottom lineup, and I will be more than happy to have you there. Definitely more than Grichuk. Do you know if Jock Pederson, can he play first base? Do you know if that's a capability that he has? For some reason, I don't know why that's sticking out to me. Can somebody comment down below if he's capable of doing that? Because, I for one also, and you brought this up on a previous podcast, it's like, we don't have anybody right now that can, like, play first base. I guess Gurriel can do it. Right. And, I mean, you could bring in Grichuk and then send Gurriel over there.
Biggio can play a little bit, too.
Maybe a little bit. But it's like, we don't have anybody who I'm like, confidence should be over there. I don't really want to see the Lord over there. I don't really want to see Biggio over there. It's like, obviously Vlad's there, but I would like to have a guy who's got a little bit more major league experience if he's going to sub in for Vlad, while Vlad's DHing or he's hurt or he's taking a day off or something, just to be on the first base.
Right. I totally hear that. Hey, but even more reason, let's say if the Lord maybe takes another step in his first base abilities this year, maybe he does become that backup first baseman, and you get another outfielder that can go and play.
I'd be fine with that too. It's like, we got to see what happens, but I mean, like, lefty bats for me, definitely lower on the totem pole.
Definitely
it's
the
like
third of the two categories.
100%. Yeah, I mean, like, relievers number one. Like, I would like to get, like, honestly, like, the more that I look at some of these, like, starting pitchers, it's just like, hey, like, there is some value to be had right here. Like, I'm okay with getting like a better stripling on this squad if we can do it for cheap, which we totally can. And then after that, get a lefty bat, and then after that, we can get some Chris Bryant.
Are you feeling pretty? After that, get Chris Bryant.
Yeah, I'd be down for Chris Bryant.
But so if we were to get some of these categories, would you feel like if we grab, like, let's say one more reliever, one more rotation, and let's say like a Corey Dickerson back, would you feel pretty confident going into 2022?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's like as good as we could have done. You know, it's like we didn't really make up for the Semien loss, but I mean, like, we did as good as we could, and like, we got Gosman, we extended Burrios. It's like we did what we needed to do, and like, now we just need our guys to like play good baseball.
That's right, guys. Let us know in the comments down below, what do you think about our kind of discussion right now about the Blue Jays free agent targets post-lockout? Is there anybody that we're kind of missing, or is there maybe someone else that you'd rather grab and that we didn't even talk about, like another category, like maybe another elite third baseman again, like Jose Ramirez? Oh God, let us know in the comments down below.
You can also check us out on Spotify, Breaker, Anchor, Radio Public, and Google Podcasts. Please make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't done so, and comment down below just like Adam was saying. Also, today Jace is our code for Monkey Knife Fight. Hop onto there, get some sweet deals if you do, and we'll be betting throughout the entire season. We want to bet along with you guys. And $3 a month to become a Patreon member. Shout out and thank you to every single one of our current Patreon members. You guys are studs. You keep this podcast rolling.
Guys, thank you so much for watching.
Go Jays, go!